We're back. You're listening to What's Up with Wendy on the Biz Talk Radio Network. The show is brought to you in part by Dr. Scott Spector, former executive at a Fortune 500 company where she realized her real passion was for helping friends and colleagues with relationships. So in 2010, she launched Cupid's Cronies, a private matchmaking service for professionals. But Cupid's Cronies matchmaking service is not your typical dating service. We're going to talk about that. Welcome to my show, April Davis.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, April.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Just fine, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you. First, let's talk about your background and how Cupid's Cronies was all born. So you worked your way up from a Fortune 500 company. Tell us about that.
Correct. I have a business background, my MBA. I've always just loved just talking about relationships and just kind of the psychology around everything. And I found myself giving a lot of dating advice out to colleagues and friends and realized that it wasn't necessarily common sense to everybody, and not everybody had such a high interest in it, because I would take the time to actually read books and kind of just ask a lot of questions to people because it was just interesting to me. And so then over the years, I ended up meeting my husband, who is, of all things, a divorce attorney.
I was going to say, we must take a big note, April, that the fact is that you're a matchmaker and your husband's a divorce attorney. That's funny.
Yeah, it definitely gives me a different perspective on relationships and an overall kind of view where I can really then help my clients too to understand, why they're picking the person they are picking to be with, and why that might not or may work in the future, because I get to see the other side of things when the relationships don't work out. Because of a lot of times, they were big red flags that people saw going into it, but they just looked past it because of attraction or chemistry or whatever it was at the time.
Amazing. So I think a book's coming your way, because how could it not eventually? But we'll talk about that another time. So tell us about the company that you formed. How did you go about forming the company? And tell us about your guidelines and clients and how it all works.
Well, it was just a lot of work like any new business starting up. I had a large group or large network of single friends, so that was a good foundation to start with. And, a lot of times they ended up getting paired up with clients I knew because I knew a lot of people. So a lot of it is, it's just who you know. And once I take the time and I will sit down with my client and understand who they are and who they're looking for. And then, I might know that person, or I might know somebody that might know that person. So just digging into my own network. But also, as the company grew, then, word of mouth spread, and we have a database that they go on our website now and they can fill out a form and be part of that network and be potentially matched to one of our clients.
So is it just for women to be matched to men, or men to be matched to women, or both? Or
It's both. And
okay.
Yeah, I do have a split of men and women clients. It's almost 50-50, and people of all different ages. I have a guy that is 27, and I've had an 83-year-old man as a client as well.
How cute is that?
Yeah, it was pretty funny. He lived downtown Minneapolis and couldn't drive, so he wanted somebody that lived around there. So I went to all the apartment buildings that housed 55-plus people and left flyers there, and I made sure to make them in large font because people so they can read it. And yeah, he was really funny. When I first met him, he was telling me about how his grandson would come over and help him with his Match.com profile because he couldn't use the computer. And that's why I think it was a good fit, because then I could really get out there and help him and literally find the lady that was right for him.
So did you find somebody right for him?
Yeah, they're still dating.
Oh, that's so cute. Good for him. Good for them. So what is the screening process like for somebody?
Well, I'll meet with them. A lot of times we just grab a coffee somewhere because I want them to feel comfortable, like they're just chatting with a friend versus sitting in a conference room getting the 21 questions and feeling like an interview. I want them to open up and tell me about not only who they are and who they're looking for, but also I want to understand their past relationships, because it will help me to understand what's worked for them and what hasn't worked for them in the past. Everybody, I'm sure you've seen your girlfriends go through it, where they will date the same type of guy over and over again, have the same issues over and over again. And sometimes people just need to be shook a little bit to get out of those. habits and stuff. And that's what I'll do is I'll call them out on it and help them to decide for themselves that they don't want to make those same mistakes, and help to hold them accountable to that too.
If you just I'm talking to April Davis, founder of Cupid's Cronies, 1-855-62-CUPID, 1-855-62-CUPID. Okay, so now if there's obviously a fee involved with this?
It is, if someone's to become a client and they hire us, and then we charge them, but anyone can join for free and be considered as a match to one of our clients. Because, there's someone for everyone out there, and we want to keep it open because we don't want to limit who we can introduce to our clients. A lot of the services, it's just clients and clients, that are matched together, but everybody is so different, and we want to have a lot of options.
And I think I'm going to ask you this question, and then I'll tell you my thoughts on it. The online, there's so many online dating services, eHarmony, Match.com. I don't even know the rest of them. But how are you different from that? I would say right off the bat that it's more personal, and you're there screening both sides, whereas you're online and it's like it is what it is.
You don't know, right? Absolutely. It's kind of like the equivalent of putting your resume on Monster.com or working with a recruiter for a company, and so you have that direct one-on-one relationship. And I basically do the screening. I call it kind of like a pre-date, basically, for my client. I meet with the person, see what they look like. I also have seen photos of my clients' exes and who they're attracted to, so it helps me because, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And I want to know, okay, what do they think is a 10 or
right.
who do they find attractive?
So do they bring you pictures from a magazine and say, okay, I'd like to have, Jennifer Aniston?
No. I mean, that is the girl that would come up the most if I was to ask. You're absolutely right there. But that's why I ask for people they have dated before in the past, because then, okay, let's see what is obtainable, what has been obtainable for you. And, okay, but if it is, say, a super hot woman and she doesn't supply a good conversation to you, and that's what you're telling me is important for you next time around. Maybe we should look first and foremost to somebody that is intelligent and educated and those things versus looking at just their physical features.
So this must be so rewarding. Have you been to like a million weddings? Do you get invited to all the weddings, all the engagement parties?
That's what all the weddings typically, because it gets to be too much if you're going to everything. But that's what I always tell my clients is my goal is to go to your wedding at some point. So I'm going to keep working with them until they're walking down the aisle. Okay,
so I know that you're in more than a dozen U.S. locations. So if somebody's not in your location, how does that work? Do you Skype them? How does it all work?
Yeah, we typically use Skype or Google Hangouts, and it's good to still join even if we're not there, because a lot of people, like I have a client that's in Missouri, and we're not necessarily in Missouri, but he is willing to travel all over the U.S. to meet the right girl. So it just depends on the person.
So there's a wide pool of potential matches that you pull from to match people up. So do they call you? Do you say, when we come back after the break, we're going to talk about top holiday dating tips, which I think is kind of interesting, the do's and don'ts. And we're going to talk about your best advice. And for a first date, what's your best advice for a first date? Just be yourself, or like, what is it?
Well, not just the first date, but I mean, you're right about put your best version of you forward. I always think about, you probably have seen on Discovery Channel or something when the bird is doing the dance to try to attract the female bird. I mean, you really want to put your best self forward. And I don't mean just physically, but also we just have a lot to add to the conversation, because you want to have your own life, have your own hobbies and passions. All those things are really, they're just more interesting to people, and they're going to find you that much more attractive than just maybe a pretty face or somebody that dresses well.
Right. And do you advise people on like what you should wear, where they should go, those kind of things?
And not only that, but I take them shopping sometimes.
You do?
Depending on if they need a little help or something. A lot of people have been married for 20, 30 years, and they're just getting, they're newly single, and so they haven't updated their wardrobe for a while. Or some people just have been making the same mistakes over and over again. So I'll literally take them to the mall and I'll pick out clothes, have them try them on, and make them go shopping because it's important.
We're going to be right back. Matchmaking service Cupid's Cronies founder, April Davis. We're going to talk about holiday dating, the do's and the don'ts right after this message. You're listening to What's Up with Wendy on the Biz Talk Radio Network. This show is brought to you in part by Dr. Scott Spector. We'll be right back.
You've been thinking about switching to solar. Don't wait much longer or you'll miss out on this year's federal tax credit. Move quickly because the tide is turning. Solar power is becoming a threat to big energy profits. In fact, some power companies are even pushing for extra fees to make up for lost revenue. Warning, you must have your solar system up and running by midnight December 31st or you'll miss out on this year's federal tax credit. Energy prices are expected to increase by as much as 40% in the near future. Go solar now with no down payment, interest, or payments for a whole year. You can afford it because we finance. Get your government money and save big every month. Big Energy is getting nervous and the door of opportunity is about to slam shut. Paying $150 a month or more on energy bills? Then call 1-800-MY-SOLAR now for a free in-home assessment. 1-800-MY-SOLAR.
My home, my savings, 1-800-MY-SOLAR.
Dr. Scott Spector is the founder and medical director of Spector Eye Care and New Vision Cataract and Laser Center in Connecticut. He's my eye doctor, and I know he'll take great care of your eyes, too.
I've taken care of many patients over the years. Every patient is treated as if that is the only set of eyes that we are taking care of. Everybody in my office is committed to the same concept, and we help people have better lives because of it.
Go see Dr. Scott Spector at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, 203-853-9900. Also at SpectorEyeCare.com.
Okay, for all you men out there who've ever vented about the cost of razor blades or the razor burn that cheap blades give you, I want you to check out Harry's.com today. This is good stuff, guys. At Harry's, you get high-quality razor blades and shaving products for a fraction of drugstore prices. Why pay $32 for razor blades when at Harry's, you can find high-quality blades for half the price? And these are expertly crafted, high-quality razors. Harry's owns a factory in Germany that's been making razors for almost 100 years. These guys know what they're doing. And by cutting out the middlemen, Harry's delivers them to you with factory direct prices. Guys, I promise, this is a better quality and better value shave. And right now, you can get Harry's starter set complete with a razor, 3 blades, and shave cream. It's a month worth of shaving for just $15 with free shipping. Plus, visit Harrys.com now and you'll also get $5 off your first order. To get your $5 off, go to Harrys.com now and enter code 1010 at checkout. That's Harrys.com, code 1010.
Get that great tan look with a customized hand spray tan from Kathleen at Get Glowing. Elle Magazine's executive beauty editor said, having experienced the best places in New York City and the Hamptons, Kathleen tops them all. Her tan has a beautiful color, looks natural, and is long-lasting. Get Glowing is located on the Wilton-Ridgefield line, and her mobile tanning service will come as far south as Greenwich. Call for an appointment, 203-512-5053. I had a spray tan by Kathleen, and I can tell you it was the best spray tan I ever had.
At Parsonage, their philosophy is to assist you in living life your way, in a unique home-like setting that values dignity, pride, and independence. If you seek some assistance with daily living, Parsonage Cottage is a senior residence providing an affordable transition between home and nursing care. For many seniors, a little help with meals, housekeeping, and personal services makes the difference between happily living alone or being dependent upon family and friends. Their dedicated staff provides a full spectrum of services and activities to ensure the happiness, comfort, well-being, and independence of every resident. Parsonage Cottage is conveniently located off Exit 4 of I-95 and Exit 31 of the Merritt Parkway at 88 Parsonage Road in Greenwich. They invite you to contact them for a no-obligation tour of the facility. Call Penny Laurie at 203-869-6226, 869-6226. Parsonage, where you live life your way.
So what if someone owned your GM vehicle before you did? It may be pre-owned, but it's got the same stuff it came with, like OnStar. Yep, that service that sends help in a crash, runs diagnostic checks, and gives you roadside assistance. Just push the blue OnStar button and ask for 3 months on us, a free trial offer, good on any 06 or newer OnStar inactive GM model. If you don't want it after that, just say so. Visit OnStar.com for coverage map, offer details, and system limitations.
Owning and caring for a home comes with a lot of to-dos. Tune up the furnace, clean the gutters, remodel the kitchen. Whatever your home improvement need, Home Advisor can help you find a pro you can trust to get the job done right. Go to home.homeadvisor.com for instant access to top-rated pros in your area, including electricians, handymen, plumbers, whatever type of home pro you need. And Home Advisor is absolutely free to use. At Home Advisor, you don't have to search through a long list of pros. With just a few clicks, Home Advisor matches you with pros who provide the exact services you need. You can read customer reviews of the pros, even use the cost guide to find out what hundreds of other home projects cost in your area. And because Home Advisor knows it's important to find a pro you can trust in your home, they conduct background checks on their service professionals. It's just one of the reasons more than 25 million homeowners have used Home Advisor. Go to home.homeadvisor.com to find the right pro for your project. That's home.homeadvisor.com.
I'm back with Cupid's Cronies upscale matchmaking service founder, April Davis. Okay, April, so you're going to give us the holidays do's and don'ts. I think that's interesting because you're right, it is the holidays, so go to it.
It's coming up all too fast, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, we just got over Halloween, and now I'm like, it's Christmas stuff is already in the stores.
I know, and the music has started.
And the Christmas tree is at Rockefeller Center this morning. It's crazy.
Oh, wow. Well, for the first bit of advice I have is to take advantage of the holiday colors and be the lady in red, or the man in red, for that matter, because, I mean, they've done research on this, and that it's actually, red is it's a sexual sign in women, and men are very attracted to it, and actually women are also attracted to the red, that they see if a guy is wearing a red shirt. You know, it just gets their attention. So if you're single, don't be afraid to bust out that red shirt or skirt, sweater, whatever it is, to get that attraction going and the attention on you.
Okay.
And then, but don't, if you are dating somebody and you just started dating, don't go over the top and buy them some like ridiculously elaborate or expensive type of gift. You want to be on the same page, otherwise it's going to embarrass both yourself and them. And what I mean by like ridiculously elaborate, say doing some kind of, maybe you knit some crazy, I don't know, like blanket or something that says both your names on it. You know, that's
right.
What I mean. That's just going over the top. Probably going to scare somebody away. So don't do that. And another do get a life. You know, make your own plans. If you're dating someone and they haven't yet suggested that you spend the holidays together, then it's probably best to plan on flying solo and just make your own plans too.
Right. Don't sit around and wait for them. Don't invite them to work, holiday party, or family gathering unless you're in a serious committed relationship.
Exactly. That can be really awkward to them, to put them in the spot. And if you are in a serious relationship with someone and they do come with you, don't just leave them on their own and by themselves. I think we've all probably been in that situation before, where a friend or somebody invites us to some gathering where we don't know anyone, and then they kind of bitch us. And that's not fun.
Yeah, I agree. And another do is, so you say, get your butt to the gym.
Right. Well, I mean, we probably, almost everyone makes some kind of commitment to their health and wellness at the prior year's New Year's resolution. So you want to keep that in mind and keep going, and maybe you can get ahead of this year's New Year's resolution as well. And not to mention, if you're single, there's a lot of single people typically at the gym as well.
Absolutely. Cupid's Cronies, 1-855-62-Cupid, and also cupidscronies.com. So you're not only just a dating service, but there's other services that you offer. Can you talk about those, like dating coach,
right.
wingman? Talk about all that.
Well, you know, one thing I realized early on is that it's not just putting the right person in front of someone. It's really helping our clients to understand what they should be doing and how they can increase their chances of success. And so we really got more involved on the advice and coaching with our clients. So we do just that too with some people. So not everybody wants to be matched up, and some people just want a little bit of advice and some coaching. So we'll do that, as well as helping people with their online profiles and getting them professional photos taken as well, and helping them to know what type of photos to use on their profiles. So it's just all things. It's a lot of different things. Dating, like I said earlier, my goal is to get to that person's wedding and help them to get married and find the person to spend the rest of their life with. And sometimes you just need to try a couple of different avenues.
See, it's not as easy as you think, right?
Not
Unless you're
always.
with the right person sometimes.
Right. And that's what, we try to just increase people's chances and help them in whichever way that we can.
And I think that's a great thing, because I think a lot of people need that extra push. They need that extra advice. They need that extra, like, I'm here with you and I'm going to travel the journey with you and help you out. Because a lot of people are stuck. They don't know where to go, what to do, where to begin. And for most people, everyone's so busy. So really, a dating service is the way to go for people.
Well, right. And it's become more and more popular. It's kind of like, if you want to get in shape, you go and you work out, or you get a personal trainer. Or, if you want a new wardrobe, you hire a wardrobe stylist to go personal shopping for you. It's the same thing as if you want to find the person to spend the rest of your life with, you hire somebody else to go out there and find that person, because not everybody has time to spend hours and hours online, digging through profiles, going out on bad dates and doing all those things. And I always find myself quoting, that Albert Einstein quote, what does it mean? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So my goal is to stop the insanity.
Right.
People try something different.
And you guys also host free single events.
Right.
And that must be a lot of fun for people, too.
Yeah, they're free, but we always partner with some nonprofit. Typically, lately, it's been a lot of these, animal shelters and stuff. But, basically what we do is just ask people to bring a donation or donate some money for that nonprofit, and we'll have like a mixer. Sometimes we do volunteer events. It depends on what we have planned. But, yeah, we have a couple a year in all the different locations that we're in.
Okay, so April, have you ever turned somebody down? Has anyone ever come to you and tried to become a member and you're just not a right fit for us? Or you didn't feel like you could help them? Because there has to be those people out there where it's just going to be impossible.
That's exactly why we asked to see photos of people that dated before and who they're looking for, and we want to really understand that, just so we can make sure that their expectations are aligned with what we can do. And, yeah, I have had to turn down a lot of people, actually, just because I just know it's just next to impossible to be able to find what they're looking for. And, you can't make a square, fit in a round hole, basically.
Cupid's Cronies Matchmaking acts as a scout to search high and low in order to personally meet and hand-select the one you are looking for. 1-855-62-CUPID. You can go online at cupidcronies.com as well. Speak to April Davis. She's going to help you find your one and only, but you got to invite her to the wedding, which will probably happen anyway. Thank you so much for all those tips, and hopefully you'll come back again and share more dating tips with us, because everyone can use them out there. Thanks so